Ben Elton was once one of our greatest writers. His novels all have a great sense of humour, are full of genuine characters, and are the kinds of things that can be read over and over again without them ever becoming stale. Also, his TV writing credits include such treasures of comedy as The Young Ones, Blackadder and The Thin Blue Line. And now fast forward several years and we have High Society. The problem with satirists, whether they write political or social satire, is that all too often, once they become rich and famous, they're past it as far as satire is concerned. They no longer have anything to be angry about, they're no longer in touch with the general public, their only concern is getting richer still, and to do that they must keep in with the establishment rather than railing against it. You only have to look at certain TV programmes to see how once great satirists are now just mouthpieces for the establishment they used to rage against, mentioning no Hislops. Names. I couldn't get into the story in High Society for the simple reason there is no story. It's a very long lecture about why drugs should be legalised. I couldn't identify with or sympathise with any of the characters for the simple fact that they're not characters. They're simple ciphers. They exist only to voice the opinions of the author, and they are also the most cliched, patronising, working-class stereotypes imaginable. The kind of creation brought into being by someone who no longer has any idea about the real working classes. All through this book I felt like some haughty social worker was talking down to me, wagging their finger at me, telling me what to think. Surely anything dealing with something controversial should present both sides of the argument and let the reader make up their own mind. This book not only fails to be objective, it doesn't even come up with any realistic reason as to why drugs should be legalised. All the usual old clichés are trotted out. Legalising drugs would mean taking drug supplying out of the hands of people who cut their drugs with who knows what and put their customers in danger. No, it wouldn't, because illegal drug dealers don't pay tax, and therefore they would be able to undercut any legally available drugs. And is anybody seriously trying to suggest that dangerous narcotics purchased from your local off-licence would be safe? Cigarettes and alcohol are both legally available. That doesn't stop them killing people every year and leaving many others with serious medical conditions. One of the characters in High Society even mentions that their health is going to rack and ruin thanks to constant smoking of cigarettes. Legalisation would not stop people robbing and stealing to fund their drug habits. There also seems to be the argument bandied about these days that something illegal has a certain glamour to it. Well, I'll answer that, just for the benefit of anyone who thinks that ending your life face down in a puddle of your own vomit in a piss-stained alleyway, or that nasal decay resulting in you looking like you've got one big nostril, or ending up with a body full of broken veins and having to stick hypodermic needles into your own testicles is in some way glamorous. Legalisation would not reduce drug use. The easier availability of alcohol, for example, has meant an upsurge in alcohol use, especially among the younger people, whereas the demonisation of and the restrictions on smoking have led to a reduction of smokers and a lot of people quitting. This is not a book, it's a lecture, and it's a rather tedious, ill-researched lecture at that. There is no such crime as taking drugs, as this book suggests. You can be arrested for being found in possession of drugs, or if you're carrying a lot of it, possession with intent to supply. For those of you who are interested, Ben Elton has now published another book in which he tells us how horrible Trump is and how nasty Brexiteers are. I've no doubt he'll go on with these kinds of books, as they tend to sell on the name of the author alone, even if the author in question is quite clearly past his creative use-by date. I just think what a shame it is that somebody who was once a creative genius is now no more than a speak and spell machine for the very kinds of people he used to profess to loathe.
Deeper in the darkness you